again, they're contractors that build these facilities. They're, I call one in Massachusetts, they're booked all this summer. So. If it's,
Well, if this is part of the improvements of brownfield in general,
right,
it would be a larger contractor that would do the whole field and the pickleball courts.
okay,
So, but if it comes in after, we might, have a contractor just do the pickleball courts,
okay. All right,
right? Yeah.
Stay with Ashley, because she would be your lead on it,
Right.
and it would come under her budget. So you would want to just keep working with her.
okay. So
And then when the brownfield meeting is held, you might want to attend that.
all right,
If you all had attended the previous two, it might have made a difference.
okay, I appreciate that information. All right, so, but I get a card from you.
Yeah, I don't think I have it with me, but
All right,
if you Google my name, you'll.
okay,
it'll be pretty easy.
all right, gotcha.
I got cards too, I can give you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Don, can I get your spelling of your last name again? I'm sorry, I didn't get it. Sorry.
Good luck.
Any other public input? Two minutes. Everything else is going to be longer.
Oh, D, not E, D. Okay, good. Got it. Thank you.
We only have 2 minutes before the public hearing. If you guys want to talk about the June meeting schedule.
Sure.
Yeah, I get.
Bill had a week, he wasn't able to go attend, so we could,
Look out for it. I don't have to read it, but you didn't put it in here.
June fifth, June fifth, I can go.
Yeah,
I just, it can only be here for 5 or 10 minutes. Because it's class day. And so we can award a class day.
you're off at 12.
I'm earlier, and that's all.
Would we go on the 22nd for a regular meeting? Yeah, because we're not two together.
He's saying maybe we move the meeting up in time. 4:30 instead of 5:30. Stay right at 2.
27th, not make it so we're not meeting on July 3rd.
Right.
I don't know, but it'll be fun.
I will not be there.
Sounds good. We got you. 4:30. June 5th, we're gonna start. Bob, we have the public hearing at 6, so we're just gonna wait and then do you after the public hearing, so that's okay. You went from first to.
I know, you did me a favor by putting me on first. You got my hopes up, but, okay.
Yes.
It being close to 6 o'clock, I'll call the public hearing to order for the special event permit application for Music and Arts Festival. Swanzey Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. Yes, at 6 p.m. for a 10-year special events permit application from Northlands Live LLC to hold Music and Arts Festival on the Cheshire Fairgrounds property, 247 Monadnock Highway. The proposed festival would happen on Father's Day weekend. Public is encouraged to attend either in person at Whitcomb Hall, 70 Main Street in Swansea, or virtually over Zoom. Call the meeting to order. If you could, when you speak, just identify yourself for the record keeper.
Just one item for background. So the event permit for this year has already been approved. That's not what we're talking about this year's concerts. This would be for future years, and the board amended the special events policy to allow multi-year events. Previously, it was a year-by-year request, so they did authorize them to apply for a longer-term permit. That's what this discussion is about. So just for way of context, So it's just the one weekend festival, like the last couple of years, just for a longer term. And just that's intro, and I don't, do we want to ask them to speak to it in the beginning, and then we have Mike, Gina, and Seth McNally from Northlands.
Seth McNally, Northlands Live, for a little further context, the last time we spoke about this, the sort of the underlying, reason we're seeking longer term permit is for business certainty over the next, decade. It's, quite an expensive and financially risky endeavor, so, you know, to have so many eggs in one basket and only a yearly permit process is not a responsible way to do business, so we're looking for a little more certainty and longer term, with benefit from a lot of people in the community. Love it, we've got to, grow and nurture over the years, so there's a little bit more confidence in my work. Mike, you wanna add anything?
No, I mean, I just feel like that's the meat of it all. Certainly, I feel like it's for us as well as I feel like the fairground as well. You know, it allows some certainty for that, know that money's coming in over the years as well. It's worth for us. It's certainly like something we're applying year after year. And we would adhere to all the same rules that we have in place, and it's all those around that. Respectfully ask for the tenure.
Is anybody online that would like to speak to this?
Oh, no.
Yes.
So my name is Deb White Levitz.
Comments?
WOJ TK IE LE WICC.
That again, good, sorry, WOJ.
WOJ TK
Yep.
IE LE
LE,
WICC.
TZ,
C. C is in cat.
TZ.
No, C. C is in cat.
Oh, okay.
C Z. Okay.
So it shouldn't down to one.
Yeah, W. I'm here representing the Chester Fairgrounds, and I just want to reiterate, these guys are looking for a home, our board is behind it. I understand their want for a 10-year, and again, it is helping us, the financial stability of knowing that they're gonna be there for 10 years. Has already allowed us to start making some major ground improvements, and it's just a great thing for everybody in the community, and we are definitely behind them being there for 10 years. I think it's a good partnership, and we're glad to have them calling us home.
Great. Anybody else? No, I'll close the public hearing.
Motion to approve. With conditions as
I'll make a motion that we set the 10-year as right.
Second. Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to be sure we have an opportunity to read the language. So we know what's in the contract. I didn't see it in the packet. So
I included the conditions.
Maybe we got the department head. So I have the condition.
Yeah, so the conditions would then be summarized in the. This sheet here, so talk about 2 police officers during
no, I saw that. What about conditions within the contract itself? If things go awry, what do we have for protection?
Well, as Mike mentioned, so when you say things go awry.
They back up. I know, I'm saying if the parking plan doesn't work, if Route 12 is backed up. And it doesn't get resolved the following year, there's noise complaints, there's whatever. What protections do we have that if things aren't going the way they went the last 2 years, that we would have the ability to renegotiate?
I would have to check on that. I guess I was focused on these conditions. So I believe there'd be a notice, you know, these are the issues that have been encountered, and if they continue, that would be a conversation. So I think the policy, I think that's outlined in the policy, which I know, but I'm pretty sure we have that opportunity.
So certainly been in favor of it, not in favor of an extended contract. I just want to be certain that we do have some leverage on our side.
Yeah, I believe it was in the special events policy,
Yeah, we approved that up to 10 years, I think.
right? You'll be approving conditional on having that.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we should resolve that a week or two.
Right. I believe it, like I said, I believe it's outlined in the special events policy, just not in the end.
Motion made and seconded. Additional approval. Based on the special events policy. Your acceptance. All in favor? Aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope it all turns out good.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Well, we've got 100 degrees and all rain, so completely out of the window.
There you go.
Yeah.
Deb, while you're here, friendly reminder about the fireworks permit if you're planning on.
We are actually not doing fireworks this year. We're trying something different. So, yeah, we had that on our calendar, but yes. I will give you the official no fireworks. Everybody, not this year.
Well, go ahead.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you. Everyone.
We just asked for, I guess it's just me, I asked this to give you guys an update, you can use the following.
Nice to meet you, Bob.
Energy Commission's been busy racking our brains over things we can do for our constituents, but the big news is revision in the town of Keene, city of Keene will be coming to our planning board to propose a 5 megawatt solar array, community solar farm. Because of the laws and the restrictions and the regulations in New Hampshire, they can sell 1 megawatt of that to city of Keene residents. The other 4 megawatts has to be sold to municipalities, schools, and other organizations. So I don't foresee, I mean, they already have the 1.5 megawatt array. There's 3 times that size. Unless there's concerns about the property itself, the wildlife, things like that, I don't see much standing in the way of that. So they're going to be looking for off-takers for people that might be interested in purchasing local solar power. We have revision that's coming to our next meeting, June 13th, to talk about that program and some other programs they're doing. Hopefully we'll get some clarification on what perceived rates for this, for the energy. Whether the municipality or the school might be interested in becoming an off-taker. We think it's exciting because, you know, one of our tasks is to localize our energy source. To have 5 megawatts right there, it would be great. They're going to come talk to us about community solar farms too, as well. And community solar farm is basically where you find someone in the community that wants to lease their land post. It can be anywhere from 1 megawatt to 5 megawatts. Again, there's that restriction that you can only sell 1 megawatt to the residents of the community from a single project. So, but the prospect is that you have somebody in the neighborhood wants 1 megawatt. They find everybody in the neighborhood wants to sign up for it. They become the off-takers, automatically comes in and we automatically localize power. We think that's pretty exciting. We, like I said, we'll be talking with permission about that. I hope I can give you guys an update. They're also going to give us an update on the wastewater treatment plant project about how that's going along, unless you guys have already gotten any update on that.
I have a meeting with DES, which is the funder, tomorrow, so I should know more.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
I have more update than that.
so that's sort of what we've been doing. We're looking at town properties for municipal array and for municipally owned arrays. We're not so sure that I mean, other than unless you can get the grants like we did for the wastewater treatment plant. Do we want to be in the business of buying solar panels and solar arrays when people are building 5 megawatt arrays that we can buy from ourselves. That's a question for you guys to decide whether you want to do stuff as a municipality, or if we just want to be an off-taker or something. We have Clean Energy New Hampshire. They have a new circuit rider who's going to come by. They're really good. They're going to help talk to us about grant funding and all this other stuff. Proposed language. We want to look at zoning to make. There's a little discrepancy with EV chargers and where they're allowed in Swansea, so we're going to focus a little bit on that, rewriting that, propose it to the planning commission. That's it.
I strongly encourage you to do that.
Thank you. There's a lot of already written ordinances out there. We just need to take a look at it. I don't think it'd be that difficult of a process. We talked to a guy on Flat Roof Mill Road who did his own solar self installation. He's an electrical engineer. He can't hook up to the grid because he's not certified. But he's powering his whole house except for his driveway. He says that road is too big. So we're learning little things like this. We'd love to have like little community forums where we can talk to people like this and what they did, you know, to localize or to become independent. It didn't cost them that much. You got everything on eBay. I think it cost them $3,600 to get off the grid. He did all the work. Maybe we could develop a task force, you know, people chip in 2 hours a week to help some of our less fortunate neighbors install a heat pump, maybe install a couple of solar panels to charge an EV. I think it's a great idea. I don't know what the laws and regulations are about stuff like a task force. That's another thing that we're looking at. We looked at the transfer station for siting of a municipal array, and you know, we'll talk to revision on June 13th, but I'm not really sure again whether the town wants to own more solar panels.
Where would you see it being on the property?
Well, the new building wasn't, I'm not sure if the new building was built to hold solar panels. I think it was built to hold solar panels. So an array could go there. There's also some land that could be cleared. But that would basically be used to just power this recycling center in the DPS or the DPW. So it wouldn't be a huge array, but it would be enough, like with the wastewater treatment plant, to just basically supply it. We'd love to do, eventually we'd love to do energy audits of all the town buildings, but that's a long-term thing.
It's usually a part of like the police station. I think we did the addition, so we do.
Like, I don't think this building's there.
I don't think so, because before the project.
Before this building,
Yeah.
they've done all the buildings. We changed over to LED stuff like that.
So you have like a document of energy inputs that have already been performed.
15 years.
Yeah. 15 years, so we're in line for maybe figuring out how to do some deal do that.
Yeah, the Carpenter was one that I thought of. I was talking to Alice about their new lease, and they're a big heat and electricity user. So they're probably some opportunities for efficiencies up there, so that's one that might be a good start.
Which building is that, Carpenter Home? Yeah, that we mentioned that, yeah. Yeah, definitely, and there's all these little things and, you know, stuff we like to do, we like to sit around and talk about this, and I'm happy to talk more if you have any questions about what we're doing or about anything. But that's what we've been up to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you said Keene is going to own that?
Well, they own the property.
Okay, so how is,
It's a community solar farm. They're probably leasing the property to Division, or building the community solar farm.
so people would contract with Revision to buy a share of energy?
I hope to find that answer out for you, but in June, I'm not exactly sure how that whole, I don't even know what the answer could be. I mean, all that stuff is so fungible and fungible, so that's not really good. Volatile for it. It changes every 6 months. But hopefully I'll have more information. I can share it with my board, Adam, they can share it with you.
Great.
I had 2 projects that we were working on that were shelved recently because of the change in the Eversource rate.
Yeah.
And the projections moving forward didn't support building the projects. So just be curious what you would.
Like the solar project over here, which is kind of in limbo still.
Yeah.
So
I heard theirs had to do with connection, but.
I know the great thing, and one thing you don't really learn unless you're on a commission or on a committee, but one thing we're saving with the wastewater treatment plant, we don't pay a delivery charge either. We're getting our electricity right there, which is why if you have an array against the building, all you're doing is paying for the solar array, because you're not paying Eversource for doing electricity for, what's that, $1 a kilowatt or whatever they're charging. You know? It's crazy. So that is a great benefit to the project over the wastewater treatment. Half the bill is gone right there.
If you could look into two things,
Yeah.
I'd appreciate. One is recyclability of the panels
Yep.
once they've expired.
Yeah,
I've heard several comments in your website that mentioned salvage.
Yeah.
The website you sent to us, it mentioned salvage. So what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
I've also heard that after 20 or 25 years of useful life, they're taken down and then shipped to a third world country. To move that way. Also, with regard to the airport one, I'd asked this one when they proposed the first one, that what assurances do we have that when the facility is no longer operational and there's new forms of energy that no longer require solar, that's gonna, even though Keene owns the land, it is Swanzey. So what's in place to guarantee that there's funds
pretty
available?
sure that all of these agreements have some kind of decommissioning paragraph in them. Basically, these properties have, if they're not gonna be reused for more solar panels, they have to be returned in the condition they were before. That's part of any, pretty much any agreement that they set aside money in the trust fund. So that helps, you know,
That
you
helps, 'cause that-
can always make sure that's written in there, because there's a decommissioning trust fund. As far as where all that stuff goes, I don't know, who knows, 25 years from now, who knows where it's going to be, you know, the whole system, everything changes so quickly. They may be shipping them to, you know, a third world country now, but who knows what's going to happen in 25 years. I don't know.
Then the other question I have is with regard to the farms, what impact is that, are they having? And there's certainly enough, of the data should be available with regard to animal habitat and others, other concerns. What are the environmental impacts? I kind of like them as a parking garage.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of a shame that we don't put our structures in for parking lots and put solar panels on them. But that's not the way we're going, because it's cheaper to dig a hole and put it, right? And yeah, I mean, I don't see. It's really hard to decide if you're gonna protect farmland. One way to protect farmland, it's a lot of it's lying fallow right now anyways, except for hay. You put up solar panels there and you say that's all you can do there. And 25 years from now, you may turn around and say, we want to farm this spot right now. And you can do that because we have a decommissioning process to take care of this. So there's gonna be trade-offs here. I walk a lot in Swansea, I see a lot of open fields. I think that we have a lot of potential here to protect our rural character and our farmland and localize our energy as well. You're always going to encounter resistance because people don't want to see, a lot of times don't want to see where their energy comes from. It's a smokestack or something,
Like buying a pound here.
or windmills. So,
But one of the benefits we do have is we have a lot of three-phase power.
yes, we do.
That most communities in our area don't.
We have three-phase power right along a lot of prime agricultural that could be used for community solar farms. And you don't need to take over the whole field, like a town like in West Swansea probably. I don't know the energy usage, we're still trying to get the numbers, so I'm thinking that 1 megawatt would be enough for the village in West Swansea. So I don't know for a fact.
Is there any consideration being given to the locating on poles? Locating the units on poles as opposed to the ground poles, like.
Well, I've never, like a cell phone tower.
Not like necessarily like that, but like a telephone pole.
No, I've never heard that, you know, I think they try to minimize the costs and the materials. If they're having to put up 100 of those, that's 100 of extra materials. These guys, Revision's been doing it for a long time. I was impressed by them. They're a B corporation, so they're owned by their employees. They're located in New Hampshire. They have offices in Maine, Massachusetts, and Montreal. So they know what they're doing, they're good at that on their side. They know all this stuff. You know, it depends on how the town feels about it. Where they get their energy from, and if we can get it cheaper through solar power, we can look at it. Then for the next 20 years, you know, they're gonna be giving energy down from space and. Who knows? Thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
I think there's one, where's the EV charging stations?
It's really just like one or two words in there, you know, it's just.
Like this house. Gotta put another investment and have to hold their name, the best with them.
I keep waiting for Tempestuous to put EV chargers.
Coming.
Well, they got some down at Filtrine, there's one over there, but remodeling, but see, I still call out there.
Best Western came down and they told them they have to keep their brand name, they have to put it, they have to renovate everything, and they're gonna have, that's one of the stipulations I read over the whole thing.
Oh, and the library's gotta be cheap. It's a level 2 for that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Right there. Answer Bill's question from before. So I found the paragraph, I won't read the whole paragraph on the special events, but the last sentence is any violation of any of the restrictions or limits established in this section or any non-performance or non-completion of approved exceptions or conditions may be cause for permit revocation at any time. So we'll just make sure there's a condition about being responsive to the.
Thank you. Already passed me.
Kathleen Frazier, Weber Hill Road. Oh, Michael.
Now it's line tonight.
Good.
Don't be nervous, Cat. Just relax. It's okay.
If she keels over, it's your fault.
I see you know them from the.
I'm Michael Bentley. Nice to meet you. Mr. Chairman, members of the selectmen. Kathy and I are here tonight to ask the help of your highway department to address a problem with Kathy's property. Her house is situated at 234 South Road, but Weber Hill Road is in her backyard. And it's the backyard that's the problem. And in the packet that you got, there was some photographs of the motor vehicle accident that shows the pictures, shows the problem very well. And what I'm specifically referring to, I don't know if you have the colored ones, but absolutely. Let me try this one. So, Kathy's house is at the bottom of the hill. And Weber Hill Road is here. And you can see the truck that went off. And you can see the debris of the banking. That's there. You can see the absence of any guardrails. You can see again the truck here. Truck here. Same accident, same problem. That there's, this bank is blocking out.
And then one was
That, you can have them both. You may get.
those the same, did you do that?
Yeah.
So the problem with, and in an earlier lifetime, there were actually guardrails along the road, which are now essentially horizontal. They're not no longer vertical. I mean, there are no guardrails. Kathy would tell you that the boulders that are in the banking are rolling down to the back of the house. So there's a real live problem there that we're hoping that in some fashion the highway department could address. But what's going to happen sooner or later is with the continual erosion of the bank, the road's going to start disappearing because the bank is just getting lesser and lesser and lesser. There was another accident that's referred to in the packet that we got. I didn't see the pictures, but with the more, this was at night. Where the car actually went down the entire embankment and landed right next to Kathy's house. So we're not engineered, but what we think you need to happen is for the highway department to go out there and take a look and see what needs to get done insofar as putting in some fill or stones or something to hold the bank in place and some guardrails or something to prevent that type of issue. And again, to stop the erosion of the banking, to avoid the disappearance of the road.
What is the length of this that you're saying is problematic? What is is it's not just your house, I assume it goes down the road, like, what are we looking at? Mile, I mean, of this
No,
problem?
No,
in fact, if you look at in those photographs, just beyond Captain's house, there's more of a shoulder, the road.
Oh, so we're just talking about this section here?
Well, there's two white houses, is yours the more eastern one?
I am closest to the retaining wall.
Okay, so that's on the east side, yep.
And that retaining wall probably could have gone even further up Weather Hill Road and down, because I'm getting boulders rolling down my backyard. And you can tell that they started on,
There's no
Hold
shoulder.
off a minute. You get to multiple conversations. You're not getting the full attention.
Appreciate that.
okay. Yes, I mean, for 24 years I've owned it, and it's gotten worse and worse. And the trees are coming down because there's nothing holding them up. The last car that came down December 29th, I mean, it came all the way down into my yard. There's no trees or anything anymore holding the banking together. And these boulders I have in my backyard have tar on them, so I know they started at the top. But it's, it's a big problem.
Yeah, this is a photograph that shows that car that came down at night. Started out at Weather Hill Road.
Yeah, right down.
You'll see it right next to Kathy's house.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a problem.
Was this the Stratford driver one, or was the other one?
There was a truck, that had a fight with his girlfriend and looked at her phone.
Wanted to find out if he was calling
No, that distracted driver was the pickup. Yeah, and he didn't get very far.
him. Could have.
He had to fight, got in the car, truck, looked at his phone. Here you go.
Very bad.
So we're not here trying to deal with the fight with the girlfriend or the phone. It's just that it demonstrates the steepness of the bank and the lack of any protection, be it trees or anything, on the downward side of this particular area. And we're not aware of any other areas on the road, but for this particular one, which unfortunately is right behind Gary's.
I travel down that road, and I don't know how two cars can go down there, because there are areas of erosion closer to our house, where there's these divots. So I'm always scared to get on that road, and yet it's somebody that's easier to go down, bring my dog to buggy daycare, so, yeah, it's a bad road.
We do know that the DPW director has been out, and we know that he's aware of the situation. He wanted to be here tonight, but his daughter is at Dan's recital, and that's where, otherwise it would have been here. My thought would be that it would be beneficial to have him here and have him come back. Just so you can get his perspectives.
Or he could report it back. Or he could report back to them in writing maybe, or. Yeah, they don't have to come in again, or. Well, come in after.
I mean, I understand that the selectmen are not gonna do anything without the input from the public works director, why would they? But we're not aware of what he's doing or what his views of the subject may be. And I think it's sufficiently important that something be done, or should he report that it's just fine and no corrective measures are needed? I guess we need to hear that. I don't want to suggest that he would make that recommendation, but without his input, like you agree. I don't know, but we certainly need his input. Yes,
When you read some first report, which is 2 years old, the first accident, there was a statement right there, and I'll get highlighted. And it says that the resort, I think, is in your back, that he is going to get involved and make sure something's repaired, because the guy and the girlfriend deal, caused more problems. And we don't know if anybody ever followed through to make sure that that gentleman who caused that first problem did anything, contribute money to fix something. I talked to Joe Russo on April 10th for about an hour. And, my point was, there were kids playing in her yard, the second car or the first truck, whatever, rolled over. This kid would be dead, or it could have landed on the roof. I mean, it's a serious. He's very lucky that nobody ever got hurt so far. Like you said, the road's a mess. And there are a couple one-way areas there on Weber,
But, yeah,
further up. But so Joe's pretty familiar with it, it was a month ago, and it's a month ago, I spoke to him in detail about this.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to fully speak for him, but I did discuss it with him, and I think the issue is the width. There's not, to just add a guardrail. As you
Right.
mentioned, the bank is pretty steep right now, so if anything, that would probably only destabilize the road, and it probably wouldn't be an effective guardrail. So I think realistically, the only option would be to make it a one-way road and use Jersey barriers similar to what's happened at the other end of Weber Hill, which we're hoping to fix this summer. But realistically, based on the width, as you mentioned, even without the erosion issue, there's really not much room for anything else. Which way it becomes one way, we'd have to, that would be a broader discussion. We want to make sure to have a broader discussion with the people around in that area that use that road. But I think realistically, I'm not sure what other options there could be.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the erosion more than anything. I mean, if, what she said, the kids, if you drive around Swansea, any car can go to look at over here, the house is right on the edge of the road. And that can happen anywhere in Swansea, a car can go into the yard. My problem is if it's eroding the road, and the road's diminishing, then we have a problem. But
We have a
as
big-
far
big
as you're
wall on
saying,
one
if there's
side
a
of the
child there, I mean, we'd have to fix the whole town of Swansea, because there's houses all along the edge of the roads, but cars can freely go in yards for kids.
It's got a history of 2 accidents that have 2 years, pretty serious.
we think it's the fact that the erosion has not been addressed, that it's
Yeah.
causes problem that's only going to get worse because before the banking was out here, now the erosion has brought it up to the edge of the paved surface. So put a Jersey barrier on the edge of the pavement,
We would put it up, yeah.
it's,
Then you have no room.
it's
to
still,
cross.
you're still gonna have that erosion problem on that banking. That unless it somehow gets stabilized, the situation can only get worse.
And we're aware, we're working on the other side in Weber Hill.
Yeah.
Is that coming to fruition next year?
No, hopefully this year, hopefully.
But it's finished next year.
Potentially, but it should be mostly done this year.
So that's been a long project.
So. We just, obviously you have, that. And. we just asking for some type of relief. So it doesn't get worse.
People that are coming back in, or are you more interested in a document?
Well, we come back.
Yeah.
The idea about having a discussion of having the director here would certainly be beneficial to us and I think the board.
And in the meantime, we could look at other options too, maybe give us some time, right?
Fine, well,
Thank you. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you very much.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good seeing you, Bill. See you tomorrow, maybe.
Probably.
Alright. Wastewater asset management report.
We have Margaret Blank from Underwood Engineers. If you have handouts, that probably would be more effective than the PowerPoint. Oh, Mark, where you going?
Oh, so much of that seed you can take.
I love the plans.
There's a red one here.
Furniture's coming. We put it on the agenda. You're close.
The red chip.
How soon is it coming?
We'll let you know when we decide.
You need to reach out.
No, we're just. Unless you want.
So should I just sit here?
Yes, sure.
This seems to be the thing to do.
That's the hot seat.
You want to push that button so the red light comes on screen lights up.
There isn't any red light, but there's like, it says.
Oh, okay, you're good.
It's a good idea. It's on.
Right. So, if you guys are ready, I'll take it away. I'm Margaret Blake with Underwood Engineers, and I have almost completed the wastewater asset management program for the town of Swanzey. This was funded by a $30,000 grant. It was an ARPA grant, provided by the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. So it was free to you. What's that?
In some way,
In some ways.
it all comes back.
Right, nothing's truly free, is it? No.
Depends.
All right, so you do have other asset management related work going on. There's the wastewater treatment facility upgrade RFP to do the evaluation of the wastewater treatment facility. There was an energy audit done by Process Energy Services, and that was also funded by DES. And we are also working on a stormwater asset management plan as we speak. So that's ongoing. So the goals of this program is to understand the condition of your wastewater infrastructure, identify and correct current deficiencies, anticipate future needs, provide a basis to estimate financial resources required to maintain, rehabilitate, and replace assets as necessary.
We focused on the West Swansea system.
Well,
North Swansea as well.
we included all of them. But West Swansea is the oldest one, and it's got the wastewater treatment facility, so which needs attention. And continue to build on the asset management program in the future. It's a never-ending process. I picture it like a conveyor belt. You get one thing fixed up, but there's another one coming right behind.
But the study did include all three portions, north, west, and past the. So it includes all.
It did, yeah. North Swansea is the biggest system, but West Swansea is the oldest and has the most. The asset management components that DES wanted us to cover were to come up with a vision statement, a set of level of service goals, an asset inventory and condition assessment, a criticality assessment so that you can prioritize your assets, minimum life cycle costs, long-term budget strategy, an implementation plan, and a communication plan. And I will explain all that stuff.
That's all in these slides.
It's all in the slides. So we held a level of service workshop on September 19th, 2023, and at that workshop, we developed a vision statement, which is sort of a guiding, a guiding statement for the asset management program. And it was to balance environmental preservation with growth and to protect and proactively renew assets. So what does level of service mean? DES likes to define that as a set of SMART goals. So SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And it's meant to help you balance the service you provide with the cost. So it's kind of about efficiency. Also at the workshop, we identified stakeholders. The workshop, by the way, was for the wastewater system and stormwater. So we discussed both systems. So stakeholders were property owners wishing to develop parcels and connect to the wastewater collection system. The city of Keene, which serves the North Swanzey system and the pass-through. And WSO Plus Inc., the wastewater system operator. For the stormwater system, we had some residents that attended the workshop and spoke about some flooding issues that they had experienced. So we put them on the stakeholder list for the stormwater system. And also for stormwater is the New Hampshire Department of Transportation. Some of their stormwater assets interconnect with yours. All right, so some of the goals we came up with were to update the town website, embed the wastewater story map, and stormwater story map when complete. A story map is, I think of it like a fancy PowerPoint presentation. So in order to, the main tool that you're going to use to run these asset management programs is a software called ArcGIS. It's a mapping software, but you can also set up forms. And one of the things it also has is an app called Story Maps. And you can create a map on your ArcGIS online account and publish that on your website to help educate the public. And you can add more media to it, photos, video, dashboards. So
Is it open to the public?
you can make it open to the public and you can decide what you include. Right. All right, where was I? Oh, goals. Operation and maintenance for wastewater, to inspect wastewater structures, especially in West Swansea, because that's the older part of your system. Clean and CCTV the gravity mains. I was thinking start with West Swansea there as well. And report observations from routine inspections. Financial planning, there was a goal for a rate study, which includes reserves and capital projects.
How far have we got like that?
The rate study. I believe that's.
I don't think that was.
Started, yeah, that wasn't part of this. That probably would be a good one to get started on after your wastewater treatment facilities evaluation, because then you'll know what's going on there.
We are close on the hookups, because that doesn't involve the level of detail analysis of the both of these, but we are close.
So your system overview, as we already mentioned, you've got the three systems, the pass-through to North Swansea and West Swansea. And the biggest asset you have is the Lagoon wastewater treatment facility in West Swansea. North Swansea is the newest, built in 2007, with 2 pumping stations pumping to the Keene wastewater treatment facility. And the pass-through, I think, was built in the 90s and serves the Market Basket area.